Okay, I'm happy you're back with me. We are working in Fun Book number 2, Zany Dogs by Kosky. Now, the thing we're going to be working on today is this puppy right here. Now, I have grabbed, there the light's on, see if that helps. I have grabbed 4 pencils to help me out. Now, you've got cool gray, warm gray, and French gray. If you've missed this review in the past, it is in my videos. I explain each one and what they're for. Today, I am going with the cool grays. I don't want my little doggy to look more brown, so I'm staying away from the French. And I just think the cooler color is going to be softer for what we're doing. So I did cool gray, number 1, number 230. Then I'm doing cool gray, number 3, which is 232. You noticed I skipped. I'm going every other one. And then cool gray 5, number 234. And then I went with Payne's gray, which is 181. The reason for this is I don't need every shade to be able to blend these. And if you don't have a Payne's gray, you could even go with black. The first thing I'm going to do is take this cool, lightest shade, and I'm going to come around like under the tongue, under the nose, and I can hear some of y'all already, but we can't see any difference. Yeah, you're not going to be able to at first. Around the eye there, the ear up here, inside the ear, same thing over here, down this side, in here, across. You're just going to get up in there where there's little, you know how I like the little V's and things like that. That's basically what we're doing on this first round. Okay, so that's all I did so far. Let's look down here at some of the body. Here, I'm going to go all the way under that face, all the way around the head. You can see I'm going pretty far out. No, you can't really see, can you? Then these V's, maybe under these branches or these bits of leaves here. Let's go up under here. Let's go in here. There's going to be a lot of here. So then in here, we're going to come and do that whole area because that leg is in the back. Okay, I just came up this leg right here. Then I'm going to come around, and again, in places where it looks like it's behind other places, you can actually go into the settings if this is too quick for you and you're actually following along. You can go into settings and then do the speed of the video and slow it down. Now, a lot of you are still saying, I don't see any difference. What's the point? Okay, the light, because I want to explain this, because I have to understand why I'm supposed to do something if somebody really wants me to follow along. So, the first time through, we're doing the lightest and letting it fade into the background, just letting it fade into the white, okay? Then second, we're going to do the whole distance again, but not go out so far. And then the distance again, but not go out as far as this one. And then the last one, we're going to use it for the V's to show you that in the long run, there is a difference. Here's the one I've already done. Do you see a difference in that and this? Okay, let's look. These were both the same when I started. And see how this one's got depth back in here. It's got some depth. We're going to make that leg look like it's tucked back up under there. Let's just go ahead and do that leg. I'll show you how this is going to work. It really does work. Don't get in a hurry. So we already did all of this area. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to go again. Do you see how this line comes around? So I'm going to do right on that side of the line. Just barely. I'm holding my pencil rather far back. Then this is all clumped together here. So I can do all this in here and then get closer as I come up. And go over it a couple times. I don't want to go over too heavy, too fast. This is where you're going to start seeing the color more. Okay, and I'm going to do some down in here because some of this is like in a little V area in here. Okay, are you following? Okay, then, and I'm going to go ahead. Have I got you all the way up to here? I do. I'm going to go ahead. Do you see how all this is right in front? So that leg is actually hooking up way back here in the hindquarters. So I did all that. Now I'm going to come in with that next shade that we talked about doing. I'm just doing this part beginning to end so that you can see how this really does make a difference. And I'm coming on up, blend it out, get some of this again. And this is back behind. And then up in here, so this kind of comes up here, and then there's a V here where this one comes through, and then back through here. Okay, then I'm going to go to my darkest shade, and I'm going to come in again. This time I'm putting the depth in. So anywhere where I've really got stuff that's going to be pushed to the back. See, I'm really wanting to push this back. I'm wanting that leg to look like it's coming out from around the rest of that body. Here's a V here. Here's one. And then this here is tucked back behind this part. So now, when you look at this, do you see how that leg looks like it's tucked back up underneath the rest of the body? Okay, it's up under there. Okay, let's go back to the face. Actually, let's just do the whole body right here, if I can get set up and it not move before I get set down. Alrighty, let me pull my chair up. And let's go. So we already did the first color, and it was pretty well just in those V areas. So now, go back to the face again. I am looking for those V's, those areas that look like they're tucked down inside, those areas that look like they're underneath. Okay, so that's there. Here's one that this little piece here is stuffed underneath there. This, all of this right there is underneath that. Here's a V. Do you see how this hair here, the fur, comes over the top of this? So this gets a little darker. Okay, just watch for what's underneath and what is laying on top. Look for the V's. That's where we're going to get it. So I've had people ask me, because I taught painting long before I taught colored pencil. And they're like, how do you see what's in front and what's behind? And you know, I've just always been able to see it. There's not a fanciness to it that I'm aware of. It's just something that I have always been able to see. But for you that can't, that's why I say look for the V's. Look for what lines are underneath other lines. See how this comes around here so that it looks like this right here is pushed back and this is on top? That's the kind of things we're looking for. You're looking at these lines. This is underneath here. This right here is forming a V here. So it tells me that this is a little bit underneath. Okay, just look for those areas where those V's are. Look for what's on top and what's underneath. Here's a big V right here. Here's some. Here's some here. Underneath that tongue. All the way around there. And then get lighter as you come out. Here's a V right here. You've got to have some darks so that your lights look light enough. And the only way to get white to really show up as white is to go in and add the darks. So go from lights to darks on something like this. Now, if I were painting this, I would probably do the whole thing black first and then come in with my paint and do the white over the top because the paint would cover. But with the colored pencils, it's not going to. So that's why we take and do light to dark. And see, I'm still going out a little bit, but not as far as I went out that first time. And this is one of those things, you know, a lot of times I say, oh, it's going to look worse before it looks better. This is not one of those times. This should look fairly good your whole time through. It's not one of those where you just can't see it till later. Okay. And the little paws, their feet and the foot pad underneath is going to be quite a bit darker. I just haven't gone real dark down there. Maybe my dog's got a little beauty shop treatment beforehand. So some of those things you don't think about as much when you're coloring, and so you just don't do that because you don't want it to look weird. Now, if the dog was laying on his belly, or on his back rather, and his legs were up in the air, then yes, you would do the bottom pads of those feet darker. But think about how the fur grows and what's on top, and see all this here is underneath this row here. And then if you need to do any blending, I'm going to come back with my lightest shade and I'm just going to blend this a little bit. See, as I blend that, it smooths that out some and really lets it look like it's pushed back up under. It's pushed up under there. Okay, let's come back. I'm still using that second shade. Still in my second shade of gray. Remember, we did this before in the lightest shade and we came out a pretty good amount of space. Oops, there's a V here. You just have to look for the V's. If you can't see it automatically, look for those V's. And I think I've explained V's to y'all quite a few times, but if you don't get it, ask me to explain it again and I'll do a video with just V's and working on, you know, what's in front and what's behind. This is another coloring book review. This book was sent to me, and I have to say, I'm not a big dog person, but I think it's because my husband's allergies and that I grew up with cats. Now, we did have a dog when the kids were younger, okay? So a little side story, when the kids were younger, husband used to always say, well, it'll be a miracle if we ever get a dog. And then somebody was just giving away dogs at a Walmart parking lot. That should have been our first clue not to have done it, but we did. We took the little puppy home, and it barked all night, and then it was fine, and it settled in. And well, anyway, we asked the kids what would we name it, and our daughter told us it has to be a miracle. We're like, what? And she goes, the dog's name is a miracle, because Daddy always said it would be a miracle if we ever got a dog. Yes, but I'm pumped. So this is my third shade. So I'm going into my V's again. And this time I'm not coming out quite as far. So anyway, long story short, the dog was an outside dog. It had some pit in him that we didn't know about, and ended up just kind of going crazy. We had a masonry shed in the backyard made out of bricks and stuff, and he would go and just run straight into it. And it got to where the kids were afraid to be around him, and we were afraid to let him out around the kids. And at the time, it just wasn't a good situation. So I took him into a shelter and told him what was going on, and they looked at him and said, well, he has to be put down. He's not in a good place, which I should have suspected that just by what was going on, but it still saddened us, and we never tried for another dog. The kids were really upset when they got home and found out that he was gone. And so anyway, later, my husband ended up having some allergies, and we had just gotten an indoor cat, and we had to give her away because he was allergic to cats, dogs, cows. It's not like the kids had asked for a cow. I don't know why they tested for that. And cockroaches. I'm like, okay, we're not raising cockroaches, so I don't know why you would even test him and how you tested, but okay. So allergies kept us from getting any other pets. Yeah, we were able to find a home for the cat, though, for little Molly. So anyway, from there we went to rabbits, and to this day I like rabbits. And we raised rabbits and used to sell them to a local pet store, and actually had our own business there for a while with them, until a neighbor's dog jumped our 8-foot fence, terrorized the rabbits while we were on vacation, and we came home to a mess. And they paid us damages, and we never did go back to full-blown like we were before. So that's our history with animals. Oh, no, we also had fish. And we keep the house cool in the winter and warm in the summer. We don't pay a lot in electricity or gas. So, as our daughter would say, I killed her fish because it got too cold in the water. It was a goldfish. And I was like, oopsie. So we didn't do that anymore, because I wasn't going to pay a big electric bill just to heat up a fish's little container that it was in. So, what a time. Growing up, we did have cats. We had birds. The birds were, it was parakeets, and we clipped their wings so that we could actually have them out of the cages, and just stand on our fingers and stuff, and so that was fun. But yeah, my kids did not grow up with a lot of animals. Okay, I think I've kind of gone over most of this with this shade. And as you see things, just like I'm kind of tinkering with this, you can go back in and tinker around with it. You're not stuck on anything until you decide you're finished. Okay. How many of you read in the last video? I could not remember what it was that you were supposed to spray over a page to be able to color on it some more. Do you remember that? And I could not think of it for anything. Well, and then I don't know if you saw in the description, I put that it was a workable fixative. So, yeah. So if you get to where you want to add more color, but you can't, then that workable fixative is what you're going to spray on your page. Just as I said before, don't be real close to the paper when you do it, because you don't want to end up with a wet paper. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to come in with my darkest dark. Are you ready for this? This is where we're really going to push things back. Don't go crazy with this dark. Okay? Don't go cray-cray with it. Just get it in there. Just every now and then. But see how that just popped these two pieces up? Yep, just around there. Just where you want some depth. And always go back and add more. After you do your leaves and your flowers and stuff, if you find that you need more depth, that's where you can pull these pencils out again and go back and do even more. Okay? I'm probably going to put little pinkish orange tongues. Just something sweet and easy. See, I'm going where those V's are. I'm also going to go here just a little bit more. Make that look like it's tucked underneath. There's a V. I can go down through there. I can come up through here and back down. Okay, what did you think of the video? Is it helpful at all? Or are you like, oh, I'll never do a black and white dog or a white dog? Same thing when you're doing a white flower. You've just got to pull all your grays out and start adding grays now and then so that the white really does look white. Okay, there's not really a big way around that. Another one that's not real easy to do is yellow. And when I'm working in yellows, I come in and add some brown. That's how I deepen those up. Okay, well, the next video, I think, on my channel will be a flip through of this book. I'm only done these two dogs. If you missed the last one, it was last session. But see, I'm just going through here and just kind of adding in some fur. Keep it loose. Just look and see where could you use a little bit more line work, and just keep it flowing. Doesn't have to be real specific, just enough that it's looking like some fur is in there. Okay, so we have our little white and grayish colored dogs now. Now see, they don't look so different from each other, but they did when we started. In fact, this one may have more of the gray and stuff in it than this one, which is fine. In fact, you could do the dogs different colors. I just decided to do them the same shades. And see, like this line right through here should be a little darker underneath. And I didn't drag all the pencils back out to deepen that. I just got a real light touch with this one. But now it looks like that fur is curled around there. Okay. Questions? Well, I don't hear any. Okay, if you do have questions, don't be afraid to post them, and I will get back to you probably in a video or two, because next will be with the review, so maybe after that. Hopefully we're going to get some alone time away from everybody in the next few days, and then be back home for Father's Day. Just do some day trip stuff. We just need some time. We just need some time away. It's been stressful, and I know it won't always be this way, but just us time. And you can see how I'm still deepening up some of these areas. Okay? So, and again, if you want to go a black dog, then just keep going. Okay? If you want one of these to be black, do your, start with a darker gray, like my second gray, and do a lot of it, and then come in with the next gray, and then the darkest gray on top. Because just like having a black dog, you have to have white to show up. With a white dog, you have to have black to show up. So, okay, I did good time-wise. So, it is a current Amazon book. We will be doing a flip through on our next session. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and tape that as soon as I turn off this one, just so that I know I've got that in the queue for y'all and ready to go when we're out of pocket. Okay? All right. I know nothing else. So have a good weekend, and hug your father if he's still around, or a brother, or just an uncle or friend, but let people know what they mean to you. Okay? They won't always be here. I know mine are gone. Okay. Take care, and thanks for stopping by.